The Bhagavad Gita, or the Gita, is a 700-verse Hindu scripture that is part of the epic Mahabharata. It is a sacred text and a spiritual classic, often considered one of the most important works in Hindu philosophy. The Gita is a conversation between Prince Arjuna and Lord Krishna, who serves as his charioteer. In this dialogue, Krishna imparts spiritual wisdom and guidance to Arjuna, who is troubled about fighting in the Kurukshetra war. In this chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Vibhuti Yoga, Lord Krishna explains the vastness and omnipresence of his divine manifestations. He reveals the various ways through which his divine presence pervades the universe, emphasizing that all aspects of creation stem from him. Through this discourse, Krishna conveys that understanding his divine manifestations is essential for realizing the true nature of the universe and the role of devotion in attaining spiritual enlightenment. The Supreme Utterance, verses 1-3. Krishna begins by addressing Arjuna with great affection, stating that he will once again share his supreme teachings, which express the transcendental reality. He acknowledges that Arjuna delights in hearing these divine truths, and out of love and concern for Arjuna's welfare, Krishna continues to impart his wisdom. Krishna says that neither the gods nor the great sages truly comprehend his divine majesty and origin, because he is the source of all creation, including the gods and sages. Krishna declares that those who understand him as birthless, beginningless, and the supreme ruler of all worlds become free from all sins. His transcendence lies in being beyond the limitations of birth and death, and knowing this brings liberation. Divine qualities and manifestations, verses 4-11. Krishna enumerates various divine qualities that arise from him, such as intelligence, wisdom, forgiveness, truthfulness, self-control, and equanimity. All the attributes of living beings, such as happiness and sorrow, birth and death, fear and fearlessness, stem from Krishna alone. He explains that even the opposites of life's experiences, such as pain and pleasure, or fame and infamy, are manifestations of his divine power. Krishna also highlights that the great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, were born from his mind, emphasizing the divine origin of all beings. He further states that one who truly understands his divine manifestations becomes steadfast in unwavering yoga, a deep state of spiritual awareness, realizing the ultimate truth. Krishna proclaims that he is the origin of all creation and the force that sustains it. The wise who recognize this are filled with devotion and fervently worship him. With minds fixed on Krishna and lives dedicated to him, they constantly enlighten and inspire each other by speaking of his glories. In return, Krishna grants them the wisdom by which they reach him, freeing them from the darkness of ignorance. Arjuna's praise and request, verses 12-18. Overcome with reverence, Arjuna acknowledges Krishna's divine nature, calling him the supreme Brahman, the ultimate purifier, and the eternal divine person. He recalls how all great sages and even Krishna himself have declared him to be the primal God, beyond birth and death, and omnipresent. Arjuna expresses his acceptance of these truths and recognizes that neither the gods nor the demons can fully comprehend Krishna's glory. Eager to hear more, Arjuna requests Krishna to elaborate on his divine manifestations. He asks how he can meditate on Krishna's forms, wanting to understand in what ways Krishna pervades the universe. Arjuna seeks to continuously meditate on these divine aspects and expresses his insatiable desire to hear more of Krishna's nectar-like words. Krishna's glories, divine manifestations, verses 19-42. In response, Krishna begins to describe his divine manifestations. He explains that while it is impossible to list all of them, he will reveal the most prominent ones. Krishna is the self residing in the hearts of all beings, the beginning, middle, and end of all creation. Here are some examples of Krishna's manifestations. Among the Adityas, Krishna is Vishnu. Among luminaries, he is the radiant sun. Among the Vedas, he is the Sama Veda. Among the senses, he is the mind. Among the Rudras, Krishna is Shiva. Among the Yaksas and Rakshasas, he is Kubera, the lord of wealth. Among the Vasas, he is Agni, the fire. Among mountains, he is Meru. Among priests, Krishna is Brihaspati. Among commanders, he is Skanda, the leader of divine armies. Among the great sages, Krishna is Brigu. Of words, he is the sacred syllable Om. Krishna goes on to explain that he is the thunderbolt among weapons, Kamadhanu among cows, and Kandarpa, Cupid, among beings who bring forth life. He also manifests as the great serpent Vasuki, the divine bird Garuda, and the lion among animals. Krishna's omnipresence extends to all forms of existence. He is the mind of living beings, the intelligence within all creatures, and the strength of the strong. He is the ocean among bodies of water, the Ganges among rivers, and the Himalayas among immovable objects. Krishna is the beginning, middle, and end of all creation, as well as the knowledge of the self. In all forms of debate, he is the essence of truth. The infinite nature of Krishna's glory, verses 39 to 42. Krishna concludes by affirming that all beings, moving and non-moving, are sustained by his divine presence. Everything that possesses majesty, power, or energy stems from a fraction of his divine essence. He emphasizes that there is no limit to his manifestations and that his description of them has been only partial. Finally, Krishna reveals that there is no need to explore his divine manifestations extensively, for with just a small part of his infinite power, he sustains the entire universe. In conclusion, Chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, presents Krishna's divine manifestations in a way that demonstrates his omnipresence and his role as the source of all creation. By understanding Krishna's glories and recognizing the divine in all aspects of life, one can develop a deeper sense of devotion and reverence. Krishna's teachings in this chapter remind us of the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of devotion. Those who recognize the divine manifestations and worship Krishna with love and dedication are blessed with spiritual wisdom and enlightenment, leading to liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Please join me in spreading these profound teachings by subscribing to the channel and sharing this video. Thank you.